The following WCIA 3 News Special is brought to you by the McDonald Group, Express Employment, Copper Creek, OSF Healthcare, and Harriet's Rents, Tents, Events. Now honoring farmers with Celebrating Central Illinois. Here is your host, Jacob Dickey.
Good evening and welcome to the Farm Progress Show here as we spend tonight celebrating Central Illinois farmers. It would not be a show about farmers with a little rain and some rain falling here this evening after a beautiful sunny day here in Central Illinois. The show kicked off today with great attendance. Farmers, ranchers, agriculturalists, educators, researchers, and so many more came out to the show in near record numbers as ticket sales, some of the highest they have seen here since the Farm Progress Show began. During this week, those farmers, agriculturalists, consumers, and more have come to the 70th Farm Show. That show is an annual event trading between Iowa and right here in Central Illinois. Now, also during the month of August, we at WCIA 3 have been featuring farmers from Central Illinois celebrating the diversity of agriculture right here across the region. Tonight, we've got a great show lined up for you with lots of different stories from the farm. Our first story is a farm family in a small community north of Charleston. They have started their farm just last year with lots of color, plenty of flowers, and some great memories with the family. But their commitment to each other, the husband and wife team, and their crop sets them apart. Our first story tonight for Celebrating Central Illinois Farmers takes us to the town of Oakland as we check out stark lavender fields.
When you find the one that's you're supposed to be with, it's actually very easy. Meet
Brian and Nikki Stark from Oakland.
We've known each other since like first grade. And then 9/11 happened. I took off for the military, went to Iraq or Marine Corps. And then I was gone for about a decade. And then somehow I got sucked back home to Oakland of all the places, you know. I was like, oh, okay. And then we ran back into each other.
And that love led to a joint effort to open a new farm north of town.
When we first got married, her favorite plant was lavender. And we lived in town, and I planted, I don't know, 20 lavender plants out there on the hillside.
Along came Stark Lavender, home to 4,500 lavender plants.
Actually, no, we had this land out here that used to be just farm ground, and then decided to build a house and, you know, make a run of it with the lavender business.
Growing lavender is hard work, but it brings the whole family together.
And everybody's out there getting their hands dirty, and everybody's chuckling and getting along. It brings the family together.
To the Stark family, lavender is more than just a plant.
It's very therapeutic. You can sleep at night. You know, you put your hard work into it, and you see what you get out of it. It's good to have something you can help other people with their issues with anxiety, with sleep deprivation, and there's a few other issues it helps with too as well.
Ryan focuses on growing the lavender, while Nikki takes it and turns it into products people can buy.
We have all kinds of products. All of them have our English lavender, which is oil, which is the oil that gives the therapeutic that people like. We have lotions, teas, infused sugars that people use in their teas or coffees. We have soap, shampoo bars, bath salt, bath bombs.
The products they produce are handcrafted, all natural, and made with oil harvested straight from the field.
We don't use chemicals or anything. It's the highest quality that you can really get. You know, the Royal Velvet, the Folgates, those are second to none.
We turn from lavender to mums, strawberries, and more. This farm in DeWitt County is working not only to grow some cool flowers there, but also to educate the consumers that visit their farm. I stopped by to learn more about what they are doing at Mariah's Mums and More. Take a look. Nestled between the farm fields of DeWitt County on the south side of Clinton Lake is a farm filled with color, fun, and more.
Well, Triple M started back in 2009 as a whim. They needed a local supply of mums. Well, Mariah knew what a mum was. I sure didn't.
Triple M stands for Mariah's Mums and More. But for Mariah Anderson and her husband Greg, their roots extend far before the mums.
We actually met as FFA section presidents.
Mariah and Greg went to college and traded the blue corduroy for some wedding attire, settling down here in Central Illinois.
We both grew up on small farms, and we knew we wanted to live in a rural setting, in a rural community like the ones we grew up in. We lived here like normal people, as we say, for the first several years, and then the mums started in '09.
We started with 300 that first year. And then we've grown ever since, 300 to 1,000. Now we're at 20,000.
Mariah and Greg have added many new products and experiences for customers to try.
Over the last handful of years, we actually started allowing people on the farm. When we did that at the beginning, we used to go and sell wholesale and then off the farm for a couple of events. And then we kept having people saying, hey, can I come to your place? Well, sure, we did it one day. They came out, they got to pick their own mum, and it worked really well.
We also today do vertically grown hydroponic strawberries, which is very unique. So our strawberry season goes from really the start of July until the 1st of October. So people can come out here. There's no bending over and crawling around in the ground like a typical strawberry patch. This past year, we started to grow spring annual flowers. We have hanging baskets. We did ferns. And so we are starting to branch into the spring market. We just try to create a lot of fun experiences and provide a lot of events as well on the weekends so families can come out here and really connect with the faces behind the food and flowers that are grown right here in our community.
The new farm store is also a popular spot for visitors.
We like to work with other local, whether it's producers or makers or bakers, to carry their products.
The Andersons love being farmers in their community, but they also use it as a learning experience for customers.
That's the part I think, enjoy the most, is really connecting with our customers and really giving them a better understanding of what goes into growing food that they enjoy when they go home.
Now, you can sign up on their website for strawberry picking times, Tuesday through Thursdays. They also have them on the weekends. We'll connect you to Mariah's Mums and More on our website, WCIA.com. Coming up, one Central Illinois restaurant is bringing the farm to the table. How they work with farmers to provide delicious food to their diners. And some, they plan to spend more time with their grandkids or try something new when they retire. But what about a bison farm? How one family in Douglas County has created a thriving operation. Stay with us as we celebrate Central Illinois farmers tonight.
Celebrating Central Illinois continues, honoring farmers.
COVID-19 has caused many disruptions in the food and supply chain here in the United States, and that has caused many to rethink how they get their food, goods, and more. For one restaurant in Ford County, they've envisioned bringing the farm to the table. They are also carrying on the rich traditions of a former restaurant in the same space.
When Bar and Stuba closed, we wanted to continue some form of that tradition here in Gibson, but at the same time we wanted to breathe a different life into it because of I'm a 6th generation farm boy from this area, so we wanted to respect what had been here before and what people so love, but also we hoped to bring something new that people would really love, and that was connecting in our farm and the farms of folks around here, and having a way to really give a food farming a boost in this area. As a 6th generation farm boy, I feel a sense of the land that my family has inherited through the generations and how that family took care of that land, built it up, built it to what it is today, and really did everything they could to make sure it would pass down into the generations and the next generations, but also how many of those family members did so much to make sure that land would give to the community near them. We really love our German food. We want to make sure that we can also consistently be putting out food that supports our local farmers. We want to be able to buy food always from these local farmers, so we want to showcase what they have.
Horseradish in Gibson City is open for brunch now on Sunday mornings. They also plan in the near future to open a new farm-to-table market across the street. Generations ago in Central Illinois, bison roamed the prairies here. Their numbers dwindled in the 1800s, but now there is a growing movement to bring them back. In Douglas County, one family reclaimed an old coal mine into a thriving bison ranch.
I grew up in Kansas. Bison were in Kansas. Bison have actually been in every state except for Hawaii. I always thought they were really cool, but I never thought in a million years I'd be raising them. Back in 2016, they were designated as the national mammal, and it is okay to eat it. You can't shoot the national bird, but you can eat the national mammal. I think that as I've studied more and more about the tallgrass prairie ecosystem and the history of our country, they really are our country's animal. Managing bison is a fairly easy thing to do. You know, they've been here 10,000 years without my help. They do just fine. Managing the pastures is a little bit harder. I just believe in it as a heart-healthy alternative to meats, and we're not trying to replace cattle. You know, it's just another meat, just like chicken, ham, cattle, bison. But it's a good tasting meat. Doesn't taste like cow, doesn't taste like chicken, doesn't taste like deer. It's kind of a sweeter meat. The Plains indigenous tribes could not have existed without the bison. They were almost hunted to extinction. At the beginning of the 18th century, there were about 60 million bison in North America. And by 1856, there were less than 300.
Coming up, as we take a look at celebrating Central Illinois farmers, we'll have more on the future with ag education at the Spotlight. That and more after this. It's no secret that the farmer is getting older by the year. In 1945, the average age of a farmer was 47. Today, that number is 57. I traveled to Christian County to meet one young farmer who is ready to take the reins and the future of the industry, and he does it in a really big way. Check out as we head to Christian County and see the national attention this FFA member is getting.
Farming is very difficult these days, and especially being a young farmer like I am that's pretty small, it can have its challenges, but it is a very rewarding job.
Agriculture has always been in Tanner's blood. As a member of the Taylorville FFA, Tanner's passion for agriculture was ignited.
I was pretty quiet coming into FFA, and I didn't say much. I even got started in FFA before I was in high school, helping with various community service events, so I was very excited, and I knew Taylorville had a very strong chapter with many great advisors that want us to push us to be the best we can be.
Tanner's FFA experience has brought him all over the country and the world through his participation in career development events.
One of the top ones I've participated in is livestock judging. I've also done job interview, various other ones such as dairy products, poultry judging, crops judging. The livestock judging is definitely my favorite. We've traveled the country for that. We've also traveled the world, had opportunities over in Ireland, Scotland, and
Tanner
London.
has also prepared for his career in agriculture through his supervised agricultural experiences.
Basically a project they keep records on throughout the year and maintain those books, and then compete at various events throughout the year with those books and showcase all their hard work that they put in.
Tanner's record keeping has covered his work growing his farm operation over the last 7 years.
I started with just a handful of bred heifers back in my freshman year of high school, and now I've grown into 35 head of total Angus cows, and including calves, bulls, and heifers. Yep, in terms of corn and beans, I both have about 280 acres of corn and 288 acres of beans. So my first year of FFA, I only started with about 15 acres of each.
His record keeping has won him national recognition this year.
I was announced as one of the top 4 national finalists for the American Star Farmer Award. So that means I'm one of the top 4 in the United States of America for the American Star Farmer finalist.
Tanner's FFA advisor Sue Schaefer says the award recognition is well deserved.
Tanner has had probably one of the most successful careers of any FFA member at Taylorville High School, and I knew that he was special because he was just passionate about not only animal agriculture but agronomy as well.
Even with all of the awards, Tanner knows he belongs in agriculture.
I'd like to continue to run my SAE and my operation. I'd hope to be able to take a job close to home for a while and then eventually come back and take over my operations full time and continue to grow and expand them.
We also spent some time talking to Tanner's FFA advisor, Sue Schaefer, about the future of agricultural education and what her job is like every single day. Let's hear more what Sue has to say about agriculture education today.
Well, a lot of people think that we're trying to teach kids how to be farmers, but really what we're all about is teaching kids personal growth, career success. And we want them to be, I guess, students that go into whatever field they want to, but they learn the leadership skills, the communication skills, and the public speaking skills necessary to be able to have that dream career that they want. Out of the 306 FFA members that we have, probably only about 20 of them are directly from a farm. And that's okay. And the reason why it is because we're trying to instill those communication skills and decision-making skills that basic corporations and employers are seeking. There are so many opportunities to be able to develop skills that you will use the rest of your life. We're not just about career skills, we're also about life skills. And some of those skills are achieved not only in the classroom or in the shop or in the lab, but they actually are through travel as well. Being an ag teacher, I always like to say, is a way of life. It's not necessarily a career, which goes hand in hand with farming, because you have to be committed to being in the classroom, but also do whatever it takes to get things done. And sometimes that requires a lot of long hours. The biggest reason why my career is so rewarding is just watching students start out as young freshmen that maybe are naive about the success that they could achieve, and that they just continue to do the small things so right every day, and they reach incredible levels of success. And then they end up being in a career that's rewarding, that they're happy with. The personal side is awesome, is just being able to get to know them as a person, and they're good humans. They're good community servants. They're not only great competitors and know agriculture and are going to be our future leaders.
Agriculture teachers aren't the only one getting involved. Farmers are taking note and helping to teach kids in STEM careers. We spoke to Dr. Tony Studer from the Crop Sciences Department at the University of Illinois. His research in popcorn has turned into curriculum and direct work with agriculture students in FFA programs around the state. There's an organic farm operation in Iroquois County that is supporting the rural economy in a unique way.
I'm very fortunate as a fourth-generation farmer to bring the fifth generation in.
How they've turned their passion into a thriving business. That's coming up after this. In 1978, Paul Harvey shook the airwaves in America with a radio speech titled, "So God Made a Farmer." He described the farmer as someone who is strong but gentle. He said they were someone who wouldn't cut corners, someone who would bail a family together. After love and loss, this family in Iroquois County created a farm to honor their daughter's legacy. We head to Iroquois County, to the small town of Danforth, to learn more about Janies Mill.
Janies Farm started out in 2003 when we started to transition to organic. At that time we were at 700 acres, and now we farm right about 3,200 acres.
Meet Harold Wilkin, the CEO of Janies Farm in Danforth. He's been part of a growing movement to grow organic agriculture in the area.
We took a lot of heat in the beginning, but we've got a system now that works, and we work with our neighbors. A lot of my best friends are farmers that are conventional farmers, and there's room for everybody.
What makes Janies Farm unique is they opened up Janies Mill as a way to turn their crops into usable products.
Janies Mill was started in 2017. It is an extension of our farm, Janies Farm. And here we mill our wheat and some of our corn into bakery products, and then we distribute it actually nationwide.
The mill runs through the week to produce high quality and organic flour, cornmeal, and more.
One of the things about the way we mill is it's stone ground, just like the old grist mill. All the minerals, all the vitamins, everything is still in that wheat.
The Wilkins have also grown an online store that ships products to all 48 states. They even have a small retail store on site that is open 5 days a week.
I love what we're doing, going from the seed all the way to the loaf of bread.
Harold also loves sharing the business with his family.
I'm very fortunate as a fourth-generation farmer to bring the fifth generation in. So my son Ross actually manages the farm.
That partnership keeps Harold going every single day.
I'll just share my philosophy about that. When you farm with your son, you know, the difference between a headlock and a hug is just the amount of pressure.
The name Janies Mill also honors the legacy of Harold's daughter, Janie Wilkin, who passed away in a tragic car accident in 2001.
Janie worked with me every day. She knew that I wasn't satisfied with being in conventional agriculture myself. After she passed, it was like, you know what? I gotta change. I gotta do something. Her inspiration then led me to go ahead and make those changes.
Harold honors her legacy and her spirit every day through the business.
She was a vibrant young lady. I still feel like she's at the wheel sometimes, bringing together people into our world. It's just amazing to have an angel in your corner. She made an impact everywhere she went, and I really feel like she's still doing it.
That wraps up our time tonight here at the Farm Progress Show as we spend the month of August celebrating Central Illinois farmers. The Farm Progress Show goes through Thursday at 8 to 5 a.m., open to the general admission. You can see content that you saw tonight and much, much more from stories of farmers throughout the month on our website, WCIA.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your night. And remember, farmers, they care about you and I, and they work hard every day to provide the food, fuel, and fiber that we in America get to enjoy. Have a great night.
This has been Celebrating Central Illinois, Honoring Farmers, brought to you by the McDonald Group, Express Employment, Copper Creek, OSF Healthcare, and Harriet's Rents, Tents, Events.